I'm Kari, entrepreneur and a business mentor. I help companies on their finances. Well, finances can sometimes be quite tricky. If you're thinking about what could be the correct price for your product or service, there are lots of components that you could potentially consider. And sometimes finding the very right and correct method on how to price your product can be tricky. I'm helping you out with a very simple basic elements that you can use to think of yourself on how to price your company's product and how to budget your entire business year so that the end and the outcome is a preferred profit. When we are starting calculating your product and services price, we must first look into the cost part. It's a bit easier. Costs in general differentiate into two parts. One is fixed costs and other part is variable cost. So what's the fixed cost? Fixed cost is something that is there and that remains there even if you don't do anything on a daily basis in your business. So for example, if you're publishing a book, you will potentially have some room where you are writing the book, so you are paying the rent. You might have a car actually to drive around. You may have mobile cost subscription. You may have publishing costs. You may have advertising costs. And maybe you have also the salary. On the other side, you have a variable cost. And the variable costs depend pretty much on how much you do your business. So for example, if you are still writing the book and you have not yet published it, so you are not printing it, and you are having no variable cost. At the same time, when you actually finish your book and you start publishing it and you start actually selling it, you have to order some from the printing mill. So, for example, the first 1,000 books that you order will be your variable cost. That depends on the amount of sales that you do. So, for the beginning, to not go into bankruptcy, let's try to keep our fixed costs low. Let's look for the cheapest rental place, or let's try to do some work at home. Today it's very feasible and very possible, especially if you are writing the book. On the other side, on the variable cost side, let's try to find the best potential price and quality ratio. So for example, if you are publishing your first book, you may not need to have it in a hardcover way. Maybe the soft cover is just enough. Or maybe you want to publish your first book just in the e-channels to keep the variable cost down. Let's keep the cost down initially. We can always put up the costs later when the income comes along. Now that we have splitted your costs into two baskets, we will do the same on the income side. Income, as you can imagine, is much more valuable because the more income you have, the more cost you can have, the bigger salary you can have, and more probably the most profit you can have as well. So on the income side, let's do the same practice. Let's split the income also into several baskets. On one side, if you are a book publisher, for example, you write a book and you are printing, let's say 1,000 copies, and you put your books to sale in the bookstore. Assuming you are a very successful author and your content is great, you will sell during a certain amount of time your products, your books, in a bookstore within maybe a couple of months or within a year, depending on the title. Now, this is still considered as a one-time income because you are writing the book, you're publishing it, you're selling it, and you are counting the numbers one by one. When you have finished the batch, then you have to order another batch, and then it's another one-time income for you, and this one time is actually one book at a time. You can never predict on the sales. Sometimes your sales are good, sometimes sales are bad, depends on the discount rates and so on. So this is the more traditional approach. But we could also be more creative, and we could create a thing which in the startup world is called recurring revenue. This is the revenue which is more valuable because this revenue is recurring every month by month by month, and you can count on it, even if you don't do anything, even if your books doesn't sell. So what's the recurring revenue, for example, in the books business? It's simple. Maybe you can try forming a readers club. So the same as YouTubers or TikTokers who are creating these kind of videos every day. So instead of just publishing your book as one product and selling it on the shelves, you could actually form a readers club, ask the subscription fee $9.99 as for your Netflix account, and start posting your chapters one by one in every week, so your readers can take the chapter, read it, and constantly pay you upfront the new month revenue. Think about potential income models and form the most suitable for your business. And I have created you one very useful and very simple tool that you can download on the link below. This tool gives you the opportunity to simply put into the list all your costs, fixed costs and also variable costs. And on the other side, just enlist all your income elements. And the magic of this table is that it shows you at what stage are you actually going to be earning profit. Let me show you. So let's move on with a little exercise. We have talked about costs, we can have talked about income. Let's start putting numbers down. And this is a very little simple chart where you can mark up your fixed costs and about your products and services. So let's start by adding office rent. Let's say it costs 500 euros, might be a very small office, potentially. So next cost element is phone and internet, 45 euros, potentially realistic. Next, transportation. You have to move on from one place to another. Maybe you take some Uber or you have some bus tickets, 60 euros. Advertising. You need to advertise your activity. And well, advertising today is mainly Facebook ads, Google AdWords. 100 euros is minimum that you could potentially consider. Another thing is accounting services. And accounting services, again, when you're running small, then your fee can be very small, but 100 euros potentially it will be. Salary. Now we're putting up some bigger numbers, and this salary is with all the taxes, which make your company cost. So 3,200 is not the net amount that you're getting on hand, but potentially that you have to pay for all of your taxes as well. And other costs, there may be plenty of other costs, but we have already reached to 4,005 euros, which sums together all the costs in a list. And here you can see that these fixed costs appear on the right side of the chart. It's connected, so whenever you change something on your fixed cost side, it will also be changing on the right side. Now let's move on with income. And on the income side, I will just propose that you might want to write the book and sell the books. Quantity, let's say that you are selling per month 25 units. Let's say that your unit production cost is 8 euros and you are selling it for 35 euros per unit, which makes your revenue 875 and profit 675 for the selling of 25 books per month. The next income stream might be book club subscription. Let's say that you have your personal fan club and you have 75 members who are willing to pay you 15 euros per month to get your books online. You don't have any unit cost because it's online sales. So it makes revenue 1,125 and it also is your profit because you don't have any unit costs. And next income stream might be, for example, workshop for companies. Whatever you do as a service, but you will do, let's say, 3 per month, and your workshop fee is, let's say, 700 euros. You will ask for a group of people. It will make you 2,100 per month revenue and profit both. So with this calculation, we see that your gross profit is 3,900 and your fixed cost is bigger. So we are in minus. Let's start adjusting something. Let's say that your book club subscription increases to 90. It means that your profitability and revenue has grown, and now we have reached the profitability, which means that we are having gross profit is bigger than fixed costs. Let's adjust even more. let's say that your book is a real hit, and let's say that the sales price is not 35 but 45, which means that your gross profit is getting even bigger. And now we are on the profit side for 370 euros. So this is basically the way how to very simply visualize your 1 month of activity. Obviously, you have much more with fixed costs potentially appearing, and you might have much different products and services that you want to sign up. But in principle, this is the way how you can very simply calculate if you are in the profit or if you are losing money with each month that you are operating your activities. Now that you have seen the magic, you can see the power of Excel and putting the numbers down. The next thing that you can do is to repeat that process for every month of the year. Because sometimes during the summertime and during the winter time, the purchases may not be the same, which means that this is the seasonability. And if you are marking the numbers for each period, then you will get the overall picture. And you will see, is your business plan realistic? Is it ambitious enough? And do you need to adjust something?